I think that's a living proof of E equal to F. I wouldn't be that if education did not help me to build my future. Of course, the precise equation is actually your future is equal to education plus opportunity. And I will come to that a little later. How do you seek opportunities and seize opportunities? Coming back to this institute is mandated with creating the business management leaders of the future. As somebody had said, I only think of the future because that is where I am going to spend the rest of my life. So we have to look at the future. So what is the future of business going to be in the first place before you talk about business management in our future? We are going to live in a digitally disrupted VUCA world. What is VUCA? Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. In fact, the world is changing so rapidly that it is not the rate of change. It is the rate of change that we should be talking about. Rapid acceleration. And talking about change, just see the way the business itself is changing. World's largest taxi company owns no taxis. That is Uber. World's largest accommodation provider owns no real estate. That is Airbnb. World's most valuable retailer has no inventory. That is Alibaba. And world's largest movie house has no cinemas. That is Netflix. That's the dramatic change that is taking place in this digitally disrupted world. So nature of business itself is changing. I'm Sir Louis Matheson, Distinguished Professor in Monash University, as Deepak Bhai just now mentioned, and I'll be leaving day after tomorrow for Monash. I'm giving a series of lectures there, and one of the lectures which is pertinent today is the following. I'm going to talk about Science 2.0, Education 3.0, and Industry 4.0. Now, as a business management institution, we should be interested in two of these, Education 3.0 and Industry 4.0. First of all, why Industry 4.0? The first industry revolution was mechanization of production using steam. The second was mass production using electricity. The third used simple digitization. Complex digitization gave birth to the terminology Industry 4.0. And here the cyber physical systems will bring in dramatic shifts. Major upheavals in technology-led job destruction and creation are expected in Industry 4.0. What will be the new dynamics? I think first, some technologies automate physical tasks that humans do. Second, some technologies can do the intellectual tasks. These include cognitive computing, automation of knowledge work, artificial intelligence, etc. New technology also creates new jobs. Technology obsoletes itself at an increasingly accelerated pace. Therefore, we need more people who will create new technology. Further, people are required to maintain any new emerging technology, be it Internet of Things, advanced robotics, 3D printing, automation of knowledge work. So there will be always some demand for experts to design, test, implement, and refine smart automated information systems. My friends, here comes the worry now for the India of the future that you will be designing. The 2016 follow-up report, Technology at Work version 2.0 by Martin School suggests that the technology impact on jobs will be far greater in the developing world, like India, than in the developed world. For instance, the report concludes that 69% of the current jobs in India will be lost in 20 years. 77% of the current jobs in China will be lost. And as far as the US is concerned, it is 47%, OECD is 57%, all right? So jobs that require emotional and relational work, creativity, synthesizing, problem solving, intelligent interpretation, we hope will still continue to require human intervention, but the extent of this is also changing. Computers are increasingly performing tasks that are typically considered human, such as complex analysis, subtle judgments, creative problem solving. Will be able to interact with a machine in the same way that one would with a coworker. Instant access to information, substantial enhancement in the quality and pace of decision making, and consequently the performance will be the benefit. With advanced automation, big data analytics, robotics, artificial intelligence will be the four major drivers. In fact, there is a saying that data is new oil. There is a saying that artificial intelligence is new electricity. In fact, it is said that industrial revolution freed humanity from much repetitive physical drudgery. Artificial intelligence will free humanity from repetitive mental drudgery. And look at the way machine learning is dramatically changing. The reason I'm mentioning this is both blue-collar jobs and white-collar jobs will be at risk. Go, an ancient board game, has been always viewed as one of the greatest challenges for artificial intelligence. In late March 2016, AlphaGo took on and defeated legendary Go player Lee Sedol, who has won 18 world titles. That's not so important. What is important is that AlphaGo played many unprecedented and creative moves which human beings could not have. For example, AlphaGo's move 37 in game 2 had a 1 in 10,000 chance being played by a human. So the point I'm trying to make is that the machine learning is going to go to an extent where a human being will become sort of obsolete. My friends, we always think, oh, that is happening there in the US or Europe. It will take a long time to come here. I'm sorry. It is like the car that is following you. It is closer to you than you think. Similarly, future is closer to you than you think. And that has to be reflected in our educational curricula, educational systems, on how to deal with these exponential, unprecedented changes. Having discussed industry, business, and jobs in Industry 4.0, let us turn to Education 3.0, because that's what we are concerned about. Education 1.0 was a source of knowledge. Education 2.0 was serving as a facilitator. But Education 3.0 will be serving as an orchestrator. And that is how the new systems will have to be designed. Let me explain. What was Education 1.0? They were like Gurukuls of India, academies of Greece. There was a limited knowledge held by the gurus, and there was restricted access to knowledge. Only few could get it. Then came Education 2.0. It had to do with broadcast and an assembly line model. There was mass enrollment. There was one-to-many information dissemination, like you are all undergone, by the way. Knowledge was limited in the books in library. And now comes Education 3.0 with dramatic paradigm shifts. And what are these? First, information memorization and brute force recall, rote learning as we call it, will be made irrelevant. From brain as storage to brain as an intelligent processor will become the norm. Collecting the dots will be less important than connecting the dots. Ability to connect the dots, learn to learn, for example. Second, entire humanity's accumulated knowledge will be now freely available on the internet and therefore in your pocket. It will be indexed and queryable. Third, rich formatted content, flipped classrooms, and research material from the best faculty on a subject will be available for free. And fourth, on-demand tutoring, P2P learning, personalized and generative course structure and sequencing to meet the individual needs will be the order of the day. So there is a dramatic shift. If this is so, with Industry 4.0, Society 3.0 coming up, what will we have as far as the students are concerned? So there is a consensus that at least 6 skills will be needed in future. First, dealing with complexity. Second, critical thinking. Third, creativity. Fourth, emotional intelligence. Fifth, cognitive flexibility. And finally, there will have to be ability of co-working, co-creation. And that is not just men with men or women with men or men with women. It is men and machine. All right? We don't talk about robots anymore. We talk about co-bots, collaborative sort of robots. So finally, to my mind, despite all this, there are 2 keywords, by the way, that will remain important. And I want to spend the next 7 or 8 minutes on that. And what is that? Whatever be the paradigm shifts, education 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, there are 2 things that are going to be key. And I must say I was inspired to see that they actually form your institute slogan. One is courage, the second is heart. They will remain forever, perennially. I must congratulate those who thought of this particular slogan. What does courage mean? It means ability to question with no fear. It also means going against status quo. It means showing a passion even when it is not safe option. Is it staying in an Naxalite area safe option? No. But who stays there? You see Abhay Bang and Rani Bang staying there, isn't it? They are committed to a particular cause. And that is very critical. And what about the heart? It is the ability to care for the least privileged, to see the world through their eyes, and also the desire to make a difference to their lives. So let me talk about these 2 a minute each. First, courage. Nobel laureate Richard Feynman had famously said, the challenge is not to create new ideas. The challenge is to escape the old ideas. And to escape the old ideas, we need irreverence. We need irreverence. As president of Indian National Science Academy, and at Academy's Platinum Jubilee, I had raised this issue, and I quote, how do we create the culture or irreverence wherever young students will begin to challenge the established? A culture where irreverence will be tolerated and not demolished. To my mind, here are some obvious fundamentals that we have to change for making India more original and innovative. The first is the issue of cultural inheritance that inhibits questioning. India has the dream of becoming a startup nation, for example. Israel is dubbed as a startup nation in terms of the highest number of new technology startups. But it is so because young Israelis always challenge and question and highly known for their irreverence, and it works. Can all this be institutionalized? Yes, I believe it could be, and in my written text, I cited some of them. I will not go through all of them, but let me talk about industry. What I did in a research institution, I have captured in some way as my own experience on promoting this culture of questioning and irreverence. But since we are more interested in business and industry, let me talk about that. I remember Ratan Tata had invited me in 2005 for an offsite where a number of their leaders had come. The title of my talk was Innovation as a Way of Life. And I said, a CEO friend of mine who had come from US said, we don't hang people who make mistakes, but we do hang people who don't take risks. What do you do in India? I said, we hang people who take risks. So everybody laughed. Ratan did not laugh. During tea, he got hold of me and he said, how can we promote that culture within Tata? And I remember saying him, reward those, applaud those, celebrate those who dare to try. And that is where in 2006 the program Daring to Try started, where people who question the obvious, think out of the box, take risky ideas and move forward. And that is the most popular award. Deepak Bhai just now mentioned about leapfrogging. I am chairman of Reliance Innovation Council, okay, where Mukesh Bhai himself is a member, then John Maryland, the Nobel laureate, Bob Grubbs, the Nobel laureate, George Whiteside from Harvard, C.K. Prahlad used to be a member, by the way. We are members. And once Mukesh Bhai and I were talking, and he said, Doc, we must leapfrog. I said, no. Frog can leap only this much. We must pole vault. The size of the pole determines the distance to which we'll go. All right? And that is where we created a program on leadership. You know what is the name of the program? Beyonders. Young people who are able to think beyond the rims of possibilities. You know, they are selected and they are nourished, they are trained to take the next leaps, so as to say. So I think that is what India really needs to do. Let me come to the last part of my lecture, which is the issue of heart, compassion. In fact, I always say, my young friends, there are three qualities you must develop. One is innovation. Innovation comes from here. Second is passion. Passion comes from the belly, passion in the belly. But the third is compassion. Compassion in the heart part that you talk about. Let me give an example of this on how the new young generation thinks. My mother, Anjani Mashelkar, in her name I have created what is called as Anjani Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award. Inclusive innovation. Okay? And we don't give the award to the best practice. We give it to the next practice. I'm not a great believer in best practice. You are copying somebody's current best practice. You have to take the next practice. You know who are the three award winners? Last year it was Mihir Shah. And the award is given on 17 November, the day my mother passed away. He was pained by the fact that poor women die of breast cancer because the tests are expensive and they don't take them. He created a non-invasive eye breast examination which is simple, which is accurate, and which is very, very affordable. It is painless because it is non-invasive, does not require mammography, by the way. How much does it cost? $1 per test. $1 per test. You know, it is incredible. And state governments are now giving him, like Maharashtra government has given him 150,000 women, Rajasthan, and so on and so forth. Earlier year, Rahul Rastogi was the winner. He created a portable 12-lead ECG machine of the size of a matchbox which you can keep in your pocket. I forgot to bring it. I was supposed to actually bring it. You know how it works? You download an app, basically. You take this machine, I would have demonstrated it to you, basically. Put your two thumbs for 15 seconds, and then the sensor at assigned places, and within 3 minutes, your doctor or whoever it is will have your ECG. What is the cost? Not 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 5 rupees. Extraordinarily accurate. You can see it is game changing. And you have, as a matter of fact, many such examples. I will not get into them. I think the final point I want to really make is that it is all about courage and heart. It is all about innovation, compassion, and passion. While ending, my young friends, you will ask me, besides courage and heart, what will it take us to succeed? So 5 mantras, and I will finish my lecture. What are those 5 mantras? And they work for me. First, your aspirations are your possibilities. So keep your aspirations always high. If you aim at Everest, you will reach at least Kanchenjunga. But if you aim at Kanchenjunga, you will reach Hanuman Tekdi. So keep the aspirations high. We often complain about scarcity in India, but remember, the combination of scarcity and aspiration can create disruptive and game-changing innovations. Second, there is no substitute to hard work for becoming successful. Like instant coffee, there is no instant success. I myself work 24/7, week after week, month after month, year after year, and will do so till I take my last breath. The golden rule is the following. The golden rule is the following: work hard in silence let success make the noise. Work hard in silence, let success make the noise. The third lesson that I learned, it is wrong to wait for the opportunities to knock on your door. If opportunity does not knock, build a door yourself. Fourth, when someone tells you that it can't be done, take it that it is more a reflection of his or her limitation, not yours. And fifth, I want to emphasize this, there is no limit to human imagination. And I would like to end with a little story, again taking a diversion, just take a minute. You know, among scientists, there is something called Fellowship of Royal Society, FRS, very difficult to get. In 360 years, very few Indians have got it. In fact, only 3 engineering scientists, by the way, have won it in 360 years. So I got that, I was very happy. I went to my guru, Professor C.N.R. Rao, Bharat Ratna. Just now, Deepak Bhai mentioned that I have 37 honorary doctorates. Professor C.N.R. Rao has 60 honorary doctorates, by the way. He's such a fantastic scientist. So when I went to him, you know what he did? He looked at me and he said, not bad. So I was very disappointed. It's such a big honor, and he's saying, not bad. Then I became fellow of American Academy of Arts and Science, by the way. National Academy of Science. So from 1780, only 7 Indians have become so far. 1870, only 7. So I thought, now he will be happy. I went there. You know what he did? He said, not bad. I was really upset. I said, sir, what do I have to do to impress you? And what he told me is a great lesson for all of us. What he said is that, he called me by my first name, Ramesh, and he said, Ramesh, you are climbing on a ladder of excellence, okay? And that ladder of excellence has no limit, all right? So it's a journey on the limitless ladder of excellence. Remember that, okay? Because in India, we have the challenge of becoming alpasantushta. We are so happy when we achieve something. And that's what I want to tell today's award winners also. That's why I was telling them, well done, keep it up. What it means is that you have bigger heights to actually go. So remember, so while ending, I'm so proud to be standing here. This is a great institution. You are ranked among the top 5 in India. Our dream should be to be ranked among the top 5 in the world. And when you do that, your dream should be to be the topmost in the world. That is the limitless ladder of excellence that we have to climb. So at the end, my friends, I wish you all the very best in your journey on this limitless ladder of excellence and achievement, not only for yourself, for your family, for the society, but for this great nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I am sure the students found enough passion in your words to keep their hearts warm and minds ignited forever. At this juncture, we have an important announcement to make. Dr. Mashelkar and Shri Deepak Parekh will not be able to stay with us till the end of the ceremony due to some urgent engagements. I take this opportunity to convey our sincere gratitude and heartfelt thanks for taking their extremely busy time out to address and inspire our graduating class. Thank you very much, sirs. May I now request Professor Abbas Ali Gabula, our Deputy Director, External Relations and Administration, to kindly accompany our Chief Guest and Chairman as they leave the venue. May we have a big round of applause, please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Kind of it.
And now for that special moment you have all been waiting for. We shall walk the class of 2017 through 4 steps of graduation. We shall begin with slideshow of memories for each program, followed by award of post-graduation scroll on stage, conferment of qualification and oath, and final imprint of your name on the program roster, which establishes that the certificates you already possess is valid from this date. To begin with, we have a slideshow recalling memories of the PGDM batch. Hope you like the slideshow. May I now request Dr. Vasant Shivraman, PGDM Chair, and our Dean, Dr. Banerjee, to kindly come forward to felicitate the class of 2017. Request Ms. Sheetal Vadhva, Program Assistant, PGDM Program, to kindly invite the participants on stage. PGDM graduating class of 2017, please rise. Please queue up behind the yellow marker on the stage and go one by one as to collect your citation scroll from the program chair. Greet our Dean and pose for a quick photograph together. Thereafter, you shall go around blocks D, C and B to reach your designated chair and remain seated.
Aditi Guard. Aditya Gupta. Aishwarya Jayal. Akansha Gupta. Akhilesh Bhandari. Aluna. अमनप्रीत सिंह, अंबिका सहगल, अमित परांजपे, अनम शहीर, अंकित बर्लिया, अंतरिक्ष बैनर्जी, आत्माजा सिन्हा, बालाजी जी, बेन मैथ्यू, दीपक सबलानी, ध्रुविन गोसर, गौरव गोविल, हर्ष अग्रवाल, इप्सिता मिश्रा, ईशान अनावकर, ज्योतिर्मय मजूमदार, कौशल कपाडिया, किरण पर्वतनेनी, कृति झावर, कुशल रायथत्ता, मनाली लखोटिया, मनाली सेन गुप्ता, मनीषा राजन, मेघा बस्सी, मृगांक दुबे, निदा सफावी, नितिन दवेसर, नुपुर डोगरा, पारस देशपांडे, प्रखर गुप्ता, प्रियांश मारू, रवि किरण गुंतुरी, रिद्धि जगानी, ऋषि दीप्या भार्गवा, रोहन लालवानी, साहिल भयाना, समीर मांडगे, सारांश शाह, सत्यार्थ शर्मा, सौरभ बैनर्जी, श्रीपद शिंपी, सिद्धांत माथुर, सिद्धार्थ परख, स्नेहा कुंडू, श्रव्य चंदोलू, श्री साई सूर्या तेजा नुकाला, श्री जॉन सिल, सुप्रिया कश्यप, सुरभि चौहान, स्वप्निल बख्शी, तृतीया फुरिया, तुषार सालुंखे, उर्वशी सिन्हा, VN माधवा वर्मा, विश्वेश सिंह, वृषांक कनेकर, आदित्य पोरवाल, आकांक्षा खटूरिया, अक्षय कीर्ति श्रीवास्तवा, अलंकृता लाल, अलीशा नछाने, अमन रावत, अमनदीप कौर, अमित चौहान, अमोल कुमार, अंकित कीते, अंकुर बंसल, अनुभव गुप्ता, अनुज महाजन, अनुरीमा तालुकदार, अरिजीत सेन गुप्ता, अर्नव वैद्य, अश्विन जयरामन, चैतन्य करानी, चित्रा बेलवाल, दर्शना रमेश, धीरज मेहर, दिवांशु कक्कर, गौरव बेदी, जीनिया कसीमी, हर्ष सिंघानिया, आईवी अभिषेक, इंतिका नांगिया, जयदेव टी, मनीष कांडपाल, मर्लिन सजीव, मैथिली प्रसाद, नमन खन्ना, निधि अग्रवाल, निखिल गुप्ता, निशांत नायक, निशांत शर्मा, नितिन खनीजाऊ, पायल चंद, प्रणव पेंड्याला, प्रणव सिद्धार्थ, प्रणव इंडी, प्रसन्न गोलाकोटा, प्रतीक जायसवाल, राघव कपूर, राघव महेश्वरी, रवि तेजा नंदूला, रवलीन चावला, रोहन खंडेलवाल, संकेत कोठारी, संकेत भमवारी, शगुन महेश्वरी, शाउली चौधरी, शियोली भट्टाचार्य, शोएब अहमद, शुभम अग्रवाल, सिद्धि ईशर वालिया, सौरभ सेन, श्री हर्ष सोमारुथु, श्री राम्य वड्डवली, सुशांत जग्गी, स्वामीनाथन अय्यर, तनुश्री रॉय, तरन्नुम दीप, वत्सला पंत, विस्मय हरानी, अनावी दीवान, आर्शिया अरोरा, आस्था मित्तल, अभिनव शर्मा, अदिति दालमिया, आकांक्षा नारायण, अमन दुग्गर, अनंत पत्री, अंकित अग्रवाल, अनुभव अग्रवाल, अनुरन मैती, अर्चिशा झुंझुनवाला, अर्जुन हरीश, अर्पिता ठाकुर, देबाशी बागची, देवलीना मुखोपाध्याय, दीप वखारिया, धरा पोपट, एकता, गौरव बंगार, गौतम सिंह, गजलगीत कौर, इनायत, इप्सिता प्रियदर्शनी साई, कौशिक दत्ता, किशन राज, कौस्तुभ लहा, क्षितिज वत्स, वेंकट आशीष ममिदपल्ली, मयंक मित्तल, मोहम्मद अदनान, नंदिनी सुब्रमण्यन, नेहा चेतनानी, निखिल कृष्णन जी, नुपुर अग्रवाल, पंकज अग्रवाल, पायल निहारिका, पूजा पवार, प्रखर वर्षिणी, पुलकित गुप्ता, राघव परीक, रघुराम आर, राहुल रंजन, रविशंकर कमूला, रोहित चौधरी, साई निखिल रेड्डी, साक्षी जयकरे, साक्षी खुराना, संचित अग्रवाल, सतीश एस, सौरभ रथ, शेषाफनी जे, श्रेयोशी हलदार, सिल्की संधू, स्मिता गुप्ता, स्नेहांशु प्रधान, सोनाली आनंद, सौरभ संतिकारी, सौरभ मुनका, श्रुति श्री चौधरी, सुस्मिता घड़े, उदित गुप्ता, वरुण वर्मा, एवी अरुण कुमार शर्मा, विवेक धर्मराजन, यज्ञसेनी गुप्ता, भरत नायडू, अनिमेश कुमार स्वेन, अनमोल शर्मा, आशुतोष बुर्जबला, प्रियाशा दत्ता, रोहित राउत, सोहिनी अधिकारी, तुलिका मित्तल, वरुण नायर, ऐश्वर्या झा, अनादि चतुर्वेदी, दीक्षा कारंदीकर, पलक गुप्ता, रंजन भूषण श्रीवास्तवा, रूहानी अरोरा, श्वेता वेद, कृति सोनी, राहुल मित्तल, शीर्षो घोष, सिद्धांत जैन, मयंक लोहिया, and Amit Palab.
Thank you, Vasant sir and team. We will now have a slideshow recalling memories of the PG EMP batches.